Okay, this is after the fact. So from the prior video, supposedly video number 1, this is supposed to be video number 2. I have now replaced the coil assembly, and as you can see where I severed the pipes, and I just did it as complete modules all in one thing. This location has 3 reserve air handlers to scavenge for parts. They're brand new, never been used. So anytime any part could go out, a motor, assembly, a module, anything, can immediately go to one of the complete air handlers, take it out and throw it into a existing working air handler like we did yesterday. The hardest thing was not replacing this, the hardest thing was finding it. So we have well over 1,500 feet of copper pipe and about 300 joints to test and find leaks on. And sure enough, this was the second to the last air handler I checked to find a leak. I did all the other air handlers. There was only one more after this, and we located the leak that was down in this. I don't know if in the video I ever showed the bubbles coming out of there or not. Find out when I publish it. That's about it. It would literally take off the whole case and took it all apart back there to take this assembly out. Do not, in this kind of facility where you have like $180,000 in one room of product and it's worth so much per hour, that you do not risk trying to repair, you just replace, because this is exposure to high corrosive chemicals. That's why the copper all turned black. And the other units that are sitting here in reserve or in the same facility, since airflow and moisture did not react with the corrosive chemicals, the copper in those other units is still shite, briny copper, shite and briny, shoot, English, shiny and bright. And so high chemical corrosive exposure, all the copper on here has been exposed. So you would not want to reuse this part. So there's a brand new one in place. And I will show you what the scavenged unit looks like. And we'll go over here. So in the past, scavenged out the boards and scavenged out the motors. And then the coil, where you see this indent right here, this is where the whole coil assembly look. So this is the bottom of the unit. The 2 panels are off the bottom. This is the back of the unit where the air flows in this direction. And the only thing left here is a condensate pump. That's the only electronic unit left on this whole entire thing. It's basically been scavenged out. And that's the advantage of having multiple. Always have to sterilize, as you can see, have to be in our tidy whiteys. And, we're all gloved down and we're sprayed off and sterilized before we come into these rooms. Our tools have to be sterilized. We get sprayed down. Our vehicle gets sterilized, because you cannot afford to bring any spores in with you of fungus or any gnats or any bugs that are on your body from outside. Everybody gets sterilized coming in and out. Even the wood I put in here, the wood had to get sprayed down with Sanity, which is a peroxide kind of thing. Stay outside for a half hour being soaked before anything. Even the ladder gets sprayed down. Not a single item comes in this room without getting sprayed and sterilized. So, sorry I couldn't show you everything. Oh, and then to fill the system back up, we drained the whole system down. So this system has 3 14-ton units on it, and out of the 3 14-ton units, not these first ones right here. These are spare units right here. But those are all 14 tons a piece. There's 6 of them back there. And our heat recovery system is this one right behind these ones right here. So out of those three, they're all piped together to make one big system with one single set of pipes that goes down and up and down the hallway and everything like that. So we drained the entire system and completely filled it back up after the repair. So we're starting with ground zero, the exact amount of refrigerant from the day it rolled, you know, the day we installed it. And so it's back to up new level of charge. And now we're going through the process of commissioning it in like day one again. So we have the LGMV on here. We're performing the LATS test. We put it in test mode, which is not a normal mode. It actually forces the motors, the fans, the air handlers into a mode to like give it a stress test with our known amount of refrigerant. And we look at the expansion valves and the superheat, the subcooling, all the temperature differentials to show the health of the entire system and all components are working correctly, that the oil levels are correct in all the compressors. Because when you run low on refrigerant, you start having problems with delivery back to your compressors, and you might get an oil code, and that might be the first thing that sets you off that there's a problem if you don't notice a temperature. Since this place have a lot of redundant, so this is another redundant system. They both work all the time. The systems are never stressed. They're never working at 100% because they always have backup. If any one system goes down, this is system one. They're all three piped together into piping. This is system two. So if any one system goes down, while one's being worked on, the other can work. And out of a system, if anything ever happens to one compressor system, and there's two compressors in each unit, you can literally isolate one system off and keep two running, or you can actually isolate one compressor out of it, turn it off, and keep the whole system running minus one compressor in one unit. Culture virus. And yeah, it's a pretty nice standy system. The hardest thing is if you have a customer who lets weeds grow around and they have flowering things and the flowers come, you see all this little dusty crap, and it clogs the hell out of here. And so if you don't have somebody do your gardening, you cause yourself problems and failures and high maintenance costs. Same indoors. If you spray corrosive gases, chemicals, suffocants, anything like that that attacks copper or aluminum, you'll have failures no matter what. So all right, that's it for this one, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. See ya.